And now, Joe, I would like to tell you about someone else who is very special, Ruth Gordon. She has scored more successes than most actresses could really claim in a lifetime. And among her roles, she has portrayed everything from a crazed murderess to a modern witch. And she has received nearly every award as well, including the Oscar, of course. Miss Gordon's talents, however, go beyond just acting. And she has collaborated with her husband, Garson Kanin, to produce both movies and plays. And most recently, she has completed her first novel. Well, I met with her a while ago to talk about her life and career.
Well, Ruthie, you are actress, screenwriter, playwright, and now you are a novelist with this new saucy book called Shady Lady. That's the period of the 20s, I believe, that book is in. What appeals to you about that period?
The 1920s, well, of course, it's a great period because everything was rich and everything was exciting and nobody was poor and everybody was sexy. And if you weren't, you stayed home because nobody ever heard of anybody not being all those things in the 20s. It just went right. And I wish to God, I was back in them now. It would be just wonderful. You know, there was a kind of a forgiving thing about it in a sense of lawlessness. And it was all right lawlessness. Now, God knows what happens to you for lawlessness. But in the 20s, the lawlessness was prohibition. You see, anybody couldn't go into a bar. Anybody couldn't go into a hotel. You could not get anything to drink. So everybody broke the rules. And you were having martinis in a coffee cup and a scotch and soda in a teacup.
Little private clubs.
Private clubs, yes. And knock, 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 never heard of you, goodbye. And knock, knock, knock somewhere else. So that gave you permission, you see, to do kind of wicked, desperate things. And so we all did a lot of wicked things. And I thought, I'd like to write that down, but I don't know that I want to write my autobiography about that, you see. So I pinned it on beautiful Winona Lloyd.
You once said in a ceremony in which you were being honored, no one ever gets too old to be encouraged. Have you ever been discouraged?
Oh, darling, most of my life discouraged and all of my life in terrible trouble, just all of it. But you know, I guess you'd have to say trouble is your best friend, because when I can't find you or Martin Gable or Garson Kanin or somebody, trouble is right there with me. You know, I'm never going to shake that off. And so when you find out how to live through it the first time, then you're in luck, because once you've had trouble, once you've lived through it, then you know you can do that again. And discouragement sure comes over you, bitter discouragement. And defeat I have never had. I don't know the meaning of it, because I won't be defeated. I will be somebody, and I will be what I want to be. And if I can't be, then it'll kill me, because I'll still be in there trying.
And we're all lucky that you've been that way, too.
Thank you.
You once said never faced facts. How can you avoid it?
Oh, my God, look, we're not facing facts now, surely, because I might dry up and not have a thing to say in the world, and then where would you be, you know, because you might dry up, too. So that's all a possibility, and we aren't even going to think of such stuff as that. But, no, you can't face a fact, because...
it'll discourage you.
Well, it'll discourage you, and it would be stupid. There are enough hazards in the world. See, I'm 85 now, and I'm at my very best peak of my looks, which might be an interesting thing to anybody, because you'd think at 18, why wouldn't I be better looking than now? I wasn't. And I was thinking, when I was sitting off camera there waiting to come on with you, I was thinking about, I was supposed to go to my high school reunion, June 25th. That's where my high school reunion is going to be. And I thought, well, my Lord, that's the 68th reunion. Well, there's quite a bunch of us there, all right. It's too bad. It's too bad that I can't go. But the last one, the 67th, I went, and I wasn't going to speak, but then they said, please speak. And so I said, well, I'll speak on one condition. You know, everybody sitting around. And I said, I'll just say one thing. Don't let anybody tell their symptoms. You know, that would be such a boring thing to do. Everybody has so many. So the don't face your facts is, if you face what's the matter with you, you know, we'd open the window and say,
goodbye, everybody.
Where's Tinkerbell, and take off and hope we fly. But, don't face the facts. See, I was 18 years old, Wollaston, Massachusetts,
Yes.
Quincy, Massachusetts, and I was going on the stage, and I didn't know anybody in New York, and I didn't know anybody on the stage, and I wasn't beautiful, and I wasn't tall, which everybody was in those days, and I didn't have any money, and how was I going to do this? So if I'd ever faced those facts, I'd say, too bad, she wanted to be an actress, but...
You went right ahead and did it, too, didn't you?
Did it.
You did it.
And you see, for a career, of course, you've got to be a selfish pig. And if you're going to think of anybody but yourself, then you're never going to get out of Quincy, Massachusetts, or wherever you happen to live. And you have to kind of plan what you're going to have happen to you. And if it doesn't, then you keep on thinking it will, making it, and coming to it. But it's never facing the fact.
You just mentioned having been 85. Don't you ever get bored being called a zingy octogenarian? I mean, doesn't that annoy you for people to constantly be picking on the age problem or question?
Oh, sure. And, they all ask me to go on all these programs
Yeah.
about goodness knows what. And I never do any of that. And I don't think it's entertaining. I think it's entertaining if I appeal to you and the audience when I'm 16 or when I'm 6,000. I don't think that has anything to do with it, and it hasn't either, because you don't want sort of well-preserved people to come on and give you a good, jolly laugh. You want just somebody to come on that connects. And I just say 85 because I went into my high school reunion,
Yeah.
and I thought it would be stupid to pretend that was a year or two ago. So that's why I mentioned that. And 1914, it's such a fabulous thing to have lived through this. And in My Shady Lady, she's in 1914,
Yeah.
too. And the teens were great, great times. All those times were great.
You've had so many awards and honors in your lifetime. Is there any one more exciting experience than another when you received an award?
Well, Arlene, dear, I'm only human, so an award's a lovely thing to have, all right, and then where do you put it once you get it home?
Yeah.
And if it's a plaque, goodbye. But I think an award with money would be nice. I always would like that. But the main award that I really value is the award I give myself. And people say, oh, you don't know when you're good. The audience knows. People know, but you don't know. Well, that's stupid. I know when I'm good for myself. You might not like it. They might not like it. The public might not like it. But I know that wonderful performance that doesn't happen too often when you anticipation and realization come together, because that night when it's all perfect and goes great, and when you know that you've just taken off and done it, that's my award.